1. Tomiya leaves Arsenal. Sudden decision and injury hell revealed. 2. Takehiro Tomiyasu's Arsenal departure. An inside look at his injury nightmare. 3. Why Tomiyasu left Arsenal. Emotional farewell and future plans. Takehiro Tomiyasu interview. 1. Tomiya leaves Arsenal. Sudden decision and injury hell revealed. Bold emotional opener. Have you ever felt torn between loyalty to a team and the need to prioritize your own well-being? That's the emotional tightrope Takehiro Tomiyasu walked as he left the Gunners. And the story is more complex than you might think. Teaser to keep readers curious. But here's where it gets controversial. Tomiyasu's departure from Arsenal was far from a hasty decision. In a recent interview with former teammate and retired Japanese national player Atsuto Uchida, Tomiyasu clarified that leaving the club was a mutual decision after thorough discussions. It wasn't a sudden decision, he explained, and my contract wasn't terminated by the club against my will. We had a proper conversation and agreed that it was best for everyone involved. This revelation is particularly poignant when we consider the physical toll Tomiyasu endured. I only played 5 minutes in the 2024-25 season, he admitted, and spent a whole year in rehabilitation. The stress and anxiety were immense. I began to question if this was the right place for my future. But this is the part most people miss. Despite the challenges, Tomiyasu's departure was handled with grace. He personally said goodbye to every player, coach, and staff member, which allowed him to feel the love and support he had received during his time at the club. That was when I knew I could leave, he reflected. The decision to leave wasn't just about his physical health. I needed a change of environment, Tomiyasu admitted. And from my perspective, it's the best timing. I'll be free to focus on my rehabilitation and myself. Tomiyasu also shared his admiration for Aaron Ramsdale, whom he described as intense and a goalkeeper at a level I've never seen before. Controversial point and thought-provoking question. But what do you think? Is it fair for players to prioritize their mental and physical health over contractual obligations? And what about the impact on the team? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 2. Takehiro Tomiyasu's Arsenal departure. An inside look at his injury nightmare. Imagine being sidelined for nearly an entire season due to a devastating injury, only to make the heart-wrenching decision to leave the club you've called home for years. That's exactly what Takehiro Tomiyasu faced, and his story is both poignant and thought-provoking. But here's where it gets controversial. Was his early exit from Arsenal a mutual agreement or a necessary escape from mounting pressure? In a recent interview with DAZN Japan, the Japanese defender opened up about his departure, shedding light on a decision that has left fans and critics alike divided. Tomiyasu's 2024-25 season was cut brutally short by a knee injury, limiting him to a mere 6 minutes on the pitch. After undergoing surgery in February, he's expected to remain on the sidelines until the end of the year. For any athlete, this would be a crushing blow. But Tomiyasu's situation is even more complex. He insists his departure was a joint decision with Arsenal, not a one-sided termination. It wasn't a sudden decision to leave, he clarified. My contract wasn't unilaterally ended, and I didn't just walk away. We had a proper discussion and agreed this was best for everyone. And this is the part most people miss. Tomiyasu's choice wasn't just about his injury. It was about reclaiming his mental and physical well-being. After 4 years at Arsenal, including a grueling year of rehabilitation, he found himself overwhelmed by stress and anxiety. I wasn't feeling like I was there anymore, he admitted. I started questioning if this was where my future lay. His decision to leave, he says, was about prioritizing himself and his recovery. From my perspective, the timing is perfect. I'll be free to focus on getting back to full strength. What's striking is how Tomiyasu handled his exit. He personally said goodbye to every player, coach, and staff member, a gesture that reminded him of the love and support he'd received at the club. As I said my goodbyes, I realized how much I was valued, he shared. That's what made it possible for me to leave. Yet, his departure still surprised many, given his ongoing contract and injury status. Here's the bold question asterisk: did Arsenal truly support Tomiyasu's decision, or was it a subtle push to part ways with an injured player? While he insists it was mutual, the timing raises eyebrows. Is this a story of empowerment, or does it hint at the harsh realities of professional football? Let's discuss. Do you think Tomiyasu made the right choice, or was this a missed opportunity for both him and Arsenal? Share your thoughts below. 3. Why Tomiyasu left Arsenal, emotional farewell and future plans. Takehiro Tomiyasu interview. My passion just wasn't there anymore. Takehiro Tomiyasu opens up about his choice to leave Arsenal. It wasn't an easy decision, but Tomiyasu believes ending his contract was truly for the best. After extensive talks with the club's management, this move might surprise some, especially given the usual expectation that players with ongoing contracts push through injuries and aim to return stronger within their current teams. But here's where it gets controversial. Tomiyasu has taken a different path by stepping away early, which raises questions about player welfare and how clubs handle recurring injuries. Tomiyasu's struggles began with a knee cartilage injury that first appeared in March 2023 and stubbornly resurfaced a year later. This recurrent problem drastically limited his playtime to just a few minutes during the 2024-25 season before he decided to undergo surgery. Despite having signed a new contract in March 2024, with 2 years remaining, everyone assumed he would keep his rehabilitation under Arsenal's supervision at London Colney, aiming to return to full fitness by the end of the year. But instead, Tomiyasu has chosen a less conventional route, now collaborating directly with the Japan Institute of Sports Sciences, JISS. He hasn't disclosed the details of Arsenal's medical guidance, but it's clear that uncertainty about the best treatment path played a big part in his decision to leave. This wasn't a rash or one-sided move, he told DAZN Japan, as translated by Reddit user Space Major Tom. The club and I had long, thoughtful conversations before reaching this agreement. We all agreed this was the most positive outcome, not just for me, but for the team and staff. It was a mutual and peaceful conclusion to my time there. Reflecting on his tenure, Tomiyasu noted, I was with Arsenal for 4 years. Yet last season I only managed to step onto the pitch for 5 minutes because I was focused on recovery. That period was filled with pressure and uncertainty. And honestly, my heart wasn't fully in it anymore. I began questioning if my future truly remained at Arsenal. Once he made up his mind, he personally said farewell to teammates, coaches, and staff, sharing the news that he was leaving. He recounts feeling genuinely loved and supported during this farewell, which meant a lot to me. His teammates were taken aback since he had an active contract and was mid-rehab, highlighting the unusual nature of his departure. Looking forward, Tomiyasu now faces the challenge of finding a new club and proving his health to secure a spot in Japan's squad for the 2026 World Cup, co-hosted by Canada, the USA, and Mexico. Becoming a free agent at this moment gives me the freedom to concentrate fully on my rehabilitation and personal growth, he said. For me, that is the most hopeful and valuable aspect of this decision. Discussing the injury itself, he clarified, it's the cartilage in my knee that caused the issue. At first, it was related to the medial collateral ligament. There were many different treatments, but honestly, I wasn't sure which direction was the right one. That's why I turned to JISS in Japan and surrounded myself with trusted experts, able to support me through this recovery. Before signing off, Tomiyasu shared a heartfelt message for Arsenal fans. Your unwavering support was my strength. Whether in London or Japan, I always felt your encouragement. Wearing the Arsenal jersey brought me immense joy. I am proud of my 4 years with the club and will continue cheering for the Gunners from afar alongside all of you. We all felt disappointed to see Tomiyasu leave, especially given what he showed on his best days. A player with great talent and dedication who unquestionably deserves to perform at the highest level. But here's the part most people miss. His decision raises deeper questions about how top clubs manage players' mental and physical well-being during prolonged injuries. Did Arsenal do enough to support him? Or is this a sign of bigger issues facing injured players in elite football? What do you think? Should clubs always hold on to players with contracts during rehab? Or is it sometimes better to let go to empower the player's recovery? We'd love to hear your thoughts.